Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Pepin NHL Talk. I'm Thomas Pepin, and let's play some NHL. So we are on episode 9 of season 1. I don't know if the. I guess this is still technically the same season. I don't know when it officially becomes a new season. Is it July 1 or anyways? So we're on episode 9. We finished the playoffs, and if you saw the previous stream, we we were up 3 games to nothing, and then lost 4 straight in the first round. So, like I say in the description for this one, it looks like the Toronto curse lives on, and actually, because we won the President's Trophy, that there's I don't know if it's always the case, but there's oftentimes the President's Trophy winner doesn't do well in the playoffs, and so it happened in this case. It makes no sense, but whatever. For one, it's a game, and second, sometimes it happens. So anyway, so the playoffs went through, as we see and did see previously. The Sharks won the Stanley Cup, which makes, again, no sense, but yeah. And so where we left off, we were up to the draft. Now, just to give an update on what I did and what I'm going to do. So, in the draft, there's a time limit for each draft spot. And I don't know what the exact real time is for each team to make their pick, but to be able to, so basically, I haven't checked actually at all points, but anyways, what I believe is the case is as soon as the trade deadline passes, there's no ability in the game to make a trade from then until the draft, which doesn't make sense because you can technically make trades, I think, for all of it, but at the very least for large portions of it. So what bugs me about that is I don't have the ability to negotiate any trades in this game. Again, as far as I know, maybe I should have checked, and maybe there is a way, but I believe there's no way to do a trade prior to the draft, and then to only have 3 minutes to pull off a trade if you want to have the first overall pick, it just doesn't make any sense. So, although it's technically cheating, what I've done is before the stream, I went in and worked on trades that I want to make, well, for the first overall pick, and then in the end, also the second overall pick. I think I'll explain before I do the trades. But yeah, so it just really limits the ability to do trades when in reality it wouldn't be the case. Like you'd have, yes, you're on the clock for the picks, but trades are made in the morning of, and likewise there's trades made after the season ends and things like that. So I mean, it's just not realistic. And so I put together the trades, and what I was thinking of, so first I had a hypothesis, and I wanted to see if it was valid. And so I was thinking, okay, well, I don't have the first overall pick or the second overall anymore because of the draft lottery. So what are the value of those picks? Is it possible I trade for them? Because at first I didn't think I would trade for anything. I probably was going to trade away the picks for future picks, but I was thinking, it doesn't hurt to see, given that there's 2 franchise players that I could potentially trade for. And so what I was wondering is is the value of the first overall and second overall picks equivalent to the value of the player that is available at those positions, or is it still as it was previously, which makes it then theoretically affordable for you to trade for? And so it's actually the latter of the two. So basically, which I discovered in attempting the trades, if you package a deal, like let's say a third overall pick for the first overall pick, let's say you do a third overall plus a player. So let's say Scheifele. So let's say you do a your third overall pick in Scheifele for the first overall pick. Would it work? And the answer is yes. Scheifele's value is not crazy high, but the combination actually is enough to trade for that first overall pick. So the difference in the first and third, if you add Scheifele into it, it's eliminated. Plus, actually, in this case, if you traded Scheifele in a third for the first, you'd be overpaying by a chunk. So if you trade those two things for that first overall pick, you're getting a franchise player with their trade value as maxed out to the full trade value bar, whereas the first overall pick, the bar is, I think, a third of the full bar of value. And so you're trading a lot less than you actually would need to trade for in order to get that person that you'd be drafting. So the value turns out being outstanding, whereas if you tried to trade for that player afterwards, you just wouldn't be able to really, unless you packaged something crazy. So it's kind of a workaround to get these franchise players, and also a way to compensate for the fact that we lost the draft lotteries and then tanked in our positions. So we're able to make up for that. So we do, unfortunately, lose the value of the picks from the fact that we lost the draft lottery, but it's okay if we pay more in order to get these franchise players, because there's no way we could actually trade for them on the open market. So anyway, so that's kind of the hypothesis was correct, and the strategy, and like I said, I've already run through the trades, so I know that they do work. And yeah, so in this, basically I already know the steps up until the signing of the players, or re-signing, and then the free agency and all that, and then that's going to be kind of all fresh and on the spot. So that's where we're at, and I don't think there was. Oh yeah, I just wanted to just show you again that I'm not cheating. So difficulty, you can see at the bottom there, it's still on Superstar. So yeah. So anyways, so it's like I said, it's kind of cheating, but in reality, it's not, because you would have been able to negotiate these trades ahead of time anyways. So yeah. And the other thing on this note, if they were to improve the game, what they really should do is make this so you do have the ability to do timeouts, and I think it's 5 minutes you get to add onto your clock. What they really should do is you have 5, but they're available at any point. So for example, if I added on 5 minutes to here, I definitely could have put through the trade. And actually, to be honest, I was able to do it within 3 minutes first try in the attempt I did off stream. So So really, the 3 minutes wasn't a huge limitation, but uh, yeah, just clearly what they should be doing is making this timeout available on any pick. If you have something you want to do at any point, you have the ability to do it. Uh, Alexander, so this Stanley Cup I think you're talking about, uh, I predicted Florida um, before the series. Now it's looking a bit tight, and I don't know for sure that that's going to happen, but I predicted Florida, and we'll see what happens in the end. But I think Vegas has a clear advantage right now. Uh, so, anyways, coming back to the stream here, so the trade that managed to work was Scheifele and the seventh overall pick for a first, and what I have to do is pick up salary in order to have it go through. But this guy, in the end, he's got no years left after, or in the free agency period. So, yeah. So, anyways, this trade should go through, and it does. So now I got another 3 minutes to make the pick. My opinion on past games. So I only saw in full the first two games. I think it was as close as it actually turned out being for game one. I think they were pretty evenly matched. Florida they weren't as tidy in their zone exits and stuff like that, and just puck movement in general. Whereas Vegas looked a lot better. But it was pretty darn close in game one. Game two was just Florida wasn't very good. And in both the first two games, Florida ran around too much, and I didn't like that. So that if they just play tough without running around, I think they can do very well, as they've done in previous rounds. But in this round they ran around too much in the first two games. And then in the third game, it was just a solid effort from Florida again. I only saw the replays, but yeah, Florida kind of got back to how they did before. And then, I mean, if Florida can, sorry, one sec, I got to do this too, still on my time limit. If Florida can get back to the same game as they did in game three and previous rounds, I think they got a shot, but because I mean, they're at home again. But I mean, it's going to be tough. We'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen in the series in the end. If Florida wins this game, they got a shot. If they don't, then I'd say Vegas probably should win, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, to answer your question, basically, I think they're pretty evenly matched. I think if they played 20 games, I think Florida would probably win in the end. But uh, yeah, they're only playing seven, so that's it. Anyways, coming back to this stream here, so we pulled off the trade. We chose Bedard for first overall. Now we got to get the Islanders' second pick. So what I found out would work for this trade is if we trade our third overall and our fifth overall, which obviously is an overpay in this case, but we're getting a franchise guy, so that's good. So what I found works as a package in return is with the second overall pick, I get a second round next year, which is just an asset to use in the future, and a fourth from 2025. Third, fifth for first, second, and fourth, so this should go through. And sorry, I'll answer your question there, Alexander, in a sec. I just want to, because this thing has time limits, I want to make sure I get things done. So I'll just make my pick and then I can respond. So obviously we're going with the other franchise guy. And then now we have no picks, and as we're not supposed to. And that's it for this draft for us. So we can auto draft the rest. Okay, and what did you say here, Alexander? So from your point of view, both play pretty much equal. Vegas doesn't look playing better. See, okay, so when I made my predictions, so I did a stream for the preview. If you watch that, it'll tell you exactly what I think about the two. And to be honest, the series has gone exactly as I expected in terms of how individual games go in general. Just I thought the way the games would be won would be different. So basically, to summarize kind of what I say in the preview, what I predicted was Vegas would win by large margins in the games that they do win, and then Florida would barely win in the games that they win. And so that's actually happened exactly as I expected. So Vegas kind of, like I said, in the first game it was pretty close, but Vegas still, I think, was definitely the better team. Second game, Vegas won by a large margin. Third game, it was close, and Florida won. So it's exactly as I predicted. I thought Florida was going to win one of the first two games, but they didn't. So I don't think I said that in the preview, but that's what I was thinking. So in terms of sequence of wins, it hasn't gone as I expected. I thought probably at this point Florida would have been up 2-1, but it's the reverse. Really, it's not much of a difference. I mean, it is obviously, but yeah, it's not really. It's a 7-game series, so for Vegas to be up 2-1 at this point versus Florida up 2-1, it's not much of a difference. This game today is going to kind of be the difference maker of exactly how the flow of the series goes. But so to answer your question, Vegas was a better team in game one, was a better team in game two. Florida, I didn't see the full game, but Florida, well, they won, but I'd say they probably were the better team. But again, I didn't see the whole game, so I don't know for sure. At the very least, it was probably even. But yeah, Florida, I guess you could say, is the better team. Now, answering your question you just asked, Bobrovsky was fantastic in the highlights I saw in Game 3, whereas in the previous games, he wasn't fighting to see the puck well enough, in my opinion. I think the team wasn't doing a good enough job blocking shots as well, and they'd be screening him, so he wouldn't see the shots. But I also don't think he fought to see the puck well enough. And in Game 3, at least from the highlights I saw, he did fight to see the puck better and looked back to where he was in the Carolina series. So he's back to where he was last game. Question is how does he play this game? Also, how the team plays. So it's really, I don't know what to think of him at the moment. Because, well, he wasn't the best in the first two games, so is he back to normal from last game because he played well? I mean, we don't know. because goalies fluctuate. And he's been up and down of recent years and this year and so on. Um, so yeah, I think I said this already, but to be honest, I have absolutely no idea how this series is going to go. I have no idea how this game is going to go. I have no idea how Bobrovsky is going to play. I have no idea. Okay, so based on my predictions before the series, I would, if I didn't know how the series went up to this date, I would predict that Florida would win this game. But because I've seen the games up to date, I don't know. I have no idea. I'd say it's a coin toss. It's uh, easily Vegas could win this game, but likewise Florida could win this game. I have no idea. I have no real prediction because you get your judgment gets skewed from what's happened, whereas before the series you go based on historic stuff. So, like I said, if I go back to my predictions before the series, I would predict that Florida would at least be even at this point. So in theory, they should win this game. But because I've seen the game so far, I have no idea. uh, no prediction. I can only go based on my previous predictions. So in theory, Florida should win, but I have no idea. Anyways, back to the stream here. Sorry, I do like to respond to people that do leave comments. All right. So now we're getting into the re-signing. Oh shoot! I forgot to trade Colin White. I hope I still have the ability. Otherwise, I might have to go back and redo stuff. Uh, I think. No, I can't trade. Too much talking. So thankfully I saved this ahead of time, so I'll just zoom through where we were. Uh, my bad here, guys. So just bear with me here, Alexander. I need to get back to where I was. From responding too much, I made a mistake and missed something, so just bear with me a couple minutes here. Third, fifth, or first, second, and fourth, third, fifth, first, second, fourth. And we get Churov. Okay, and then I just need to do one more trade, and then uh, I'll get back to you. And I saw there's another thing that you said there, but just bear with me a sec. Okay, so yeah, what I meant to do here is because White, his um, contract expires and he's an RFA and he's asking for too much, so I was going to trade him. Where is he here? Another guy we wanted to trade, but then we couldn't because we didn't really have anything to do. Roar, some prospect guy. So we're trading him. And Niku is a guy we signed during the season. He didn't play that great, and he's also asking for too much, and we're not going to re-sign him anyways, and he's an RFA. So they all have value, and we don't want them. And what I found to trade for was a Florida third, I believe. White Roar, Niku for a third. So now we got everything done I was supposed to get done. So now I could exit the draft and continue through. And then now we don't have any RFAs, so I'm glad I caught that. Cool. Now I'll save this and then I'll get back to you, Alexander. So just one more second here. Okay, so yeah, to respond to your question, so again, this is actually in the preview stream I did for the Stanley Cup final. So the quick and simple answer is, so before the season, so I do sports betting and I've been correct in the past 5 seasons in my betting, and I bet on multiple teams, so it's not just one team that I predict. But anyways, Florida was one of my favorites to win the Stanley Cup before the season. They didn't have that great of a season and barely made the playoffs, but if you remember back to last season, they won the President's Trophy. So they were one of the best teams in the league last season. So before the season, I thought they were one of my favorites, and I made bets accordingly. So I bet on Florida as one of the teams as my favorites to win the Stanley Cup, and so as a result of that, I kind of have to stick with my predictions when it comes to these playoffs, because our judgment gets skewed because of what happens during the season. And like I said about with this round so far, your judgment gets skewed based on what's happened already. So because I predicted for them to win the Stanley Cup before the season, and I predicted Vegas would finish, I think, I forget what I said before the season. I think I predicted them to finish like second or third in their division, maybe even last in their division. I can't remember. But it's because they didn't have Leonard for the season, and I didn't think their goaltending would be good enough to win a Stanley Cup. And before this series, in the preview, I also predicted that I didn't think their goaltending would be good enough. So far, it has been for the most part. But again, you don't know how the series is actually going to go. So before the series, I went with just my preseason predictions that Florida was one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. And so I kind of stuck by that. Um, and yeah, so so before the season, I thought Florida would have been the better team. And then, like I said, the season makes you think differently. And but because of how the season goes, it's not necessarily accurate for how the playoffs are going to go. So I just basically completely forget how the season goes and go with my preseason predictions. And because those have always been correct for me in the past 5 years. So, so I would have predicted Florida to win the series before the series started, based on my preseason predictions, and so that's how I predicted. And so they're very close to each other in terms of how good of teams they are. I would say that maybe Vegas is slightly deeper, but it's pretty darn close anyways. And on the past playoff performance, the cumulative scoring capabilities, I would say that Florida is slightly better. And then if you add in the goaltending, Florida should be technically better. Bobrovsky versus Hill. So all those things combined is kind of why I would predict Florida to win the series. So I hope that answers your question. All right, so now we can get to our re-signing, which I don't think we have any. But we'll have a look here. Oh, we have to sign our players we just drafted. So one thing I was debating on before the stream was if I delay signing these guys and give them 1 year of development, but I decided I am going to sign them, and we're just going to slot these guys into probably the third line. So yeah, so, and we're not going to really fight about saving any money on the contracts here. We're just going to give them what they want. And then so as you saw in the trade that I pulled off with Scheifele, we had to pick up more to make it go through from the cap, and we're not going to re-sign him. Well, for one, we don't have space, but second, he doesn't really fit, and he's too expensive in anyways. So we're not re-signing. So we're just going to release him. VC's not asking for too much, I don't believe. But he doesn't... Oh, yeah, he is asking for too much. But previously he wasn't. I think he was asking for less, but I think it was two-way. And anyway, so we're not signing him either. So we're going to release him. He can... Still too much. Release. I don't even really need to check the rest. So all the rest of the guys are asking for one-way contracts, and we're not giving that for any of these guys. And plus, because of the 2 draft picks, those 2 guys fill up 2 spots. Now, remember, we just got rid of Scheifele, so we only really have 1 extra player now from drafting those 2 players. But to fill out our 4th line, I mean, it's going to be pretty easy. So same thing you can see with Perry. And then these guys we're releasing. So that's everybody that needs to be signed. Now, I just wanted to comment on the Scheifele trade. So, um, from a points per game perspective, he hasn't fit in as well as Lawton. Lawton did great last season. 55 points in 81 games. And then, who's the other guy? So the other option was we could have traded Bjorkstrand maybe, but he had more points per game than Scheifele, so we're going to keep Bjorkstrand. And then, yeah, we might trade away guys, because remember, we have one extra guy now. Or we might just move around the lines. We'll kind of figure that out later. So that's it for those guys. And then goalies, all three of these goalies are asking for too much, so we're going to release them too. I'm just going to show Holtby since he played with us, but he failed us in the playoffs, and we're getting rid of him too. And he's asking for too much, getting rid of him. So we have no contracts to sign, as you can see, except for those rookies. And Alexander, just a sec to read your stuff here. Oh, sorry, I missed the first comment you said there, so... Yeah, so yeah, there's, I guess, a number of key factors. So, if Bobrovsky can play well, as he has previously in these playoffs, and then just the head-to-head of top players from Florida versus Vegas. And so, now the question, does it match what you personally think? Now, I don't know if you're talking about what you're saying matching with what I think, or uh, if what I think matches with what you think, or I don't know. Anyways, so I would agree. I mean, yeah, it's just top players against top players. And like I said, I mean, in the end, both um, groups of players are pretty even between the two teams. So what I would say is, if Florida can execute as they did with pretty much all previous rounds, I think Florida's going to win. But the problem is that you have to be very simple and precise for that to work. And they didn't do it for the first two games. So my concern is that they're just not going to do it um, as they should to try to win. Um, so now if the way I think about it matches with other people in Canada and the US, I would probably say that most people probably disagree with me. I think most people would say that Vegas was the better team and they should win. I don't think most people think that Florida is the better team. I think I'm kind of not normal. Uh, so Vegas is a better team, but Florida is better with their individuals. I think that's what you're saying. Uh, I would say I think both teams are complete teams. I think they're equal. That's the problem with making predictions is that if they're so equal, which I think they're very, very equal, it comes down to execution. So like I said, if Florida can play simple and play as they've played previously, I think they're better because I don't think Vegas is as disciplined in their structure. I think they're more wide open than Florida. So I think that's the difference. Is if Florida plays simple, the simple game is going to beat Vegas. But if they don't play simple, um, I think Vegas has too much scoring capability, and that they'll win because of it. I hope that makes sense. Uh, so where was I? It's hard to do this and talk about things at the same time. Uh, Usually, I talk about this stuff in my other streams, like the preview. So, uh, yeah. Sorry, it throws me off. I'm trying to do both things at once. So I think that's all I had to do. And I can sim through the signing. Yeah, so that's what I'm not saying that they're not structured. I'm saying they're less structured. They play like what and I mean I'm not an expert on this stuff because I didn't watch all their games or anything. So I think Vegas plays like Florida used to play, and Florida plays, I don't know who to compare them to. They're just very simple if they play the way they played in these playoffs. So I wouldn't say that necessarily Vegas is chaotic. I would say they're just not, they're more creative and less structured than Florida when Florida is playing at their best. And I think just the slight difference, it's like how the NHL used to be when you'd have these, what did they call it? So like how New Jersey used to play way, way back in the past, and they would just shut teams down and play very simple, and they would just win from playing simple the whole way through. It's like a new version of that, but more skilled with puck movement, I guess is maybe a way to put it. So less of the shutdown, but more of the breakouts being very clean and organized. Simple, what do you call it? Cycling in the offensive zone. So, like, where you're moving around the puck very simply. If you don't have a good pass, you just put it into the corner, and the next guy picks it up. You put it to the point. If there's nothing, you put it back to the corner, stuff like that. So, if Florida plays like that, I think they'll win. But if they don't play like that and they go back to how they played game two, and if they play just slightly off like they did in game one, then I think they'll lose. So they have to be perfect, I think, to win. And it's in particular, it's because Vegas is, for one, I'd say more offensively capable in general, but also they've been playing better offensively these playoffs. So kind of a combination of those. Anyways, back to the uh, the game here. So No more signing I need to do, so I can sim straight to free agency. And I will edit the trade block because it says I want to get rid of all these guys and I don't want to get rid of any of them. So yeah, if you would have seen my previous streams for this, I don't really use the trade block because I just do my own trades when I want to. But anyways, the only thing I would really consider for picks is a first overall, and then the player filters. Like I said, I just choose my own trades. So yeah, this is just so that they don't bother me with trades that I'm not going to do. Then we can save. All right, so with our roster right now, ooh, so everybody wants to extend, but they're probably going to ask for too much. Let's have a look. Let's see what they're asking for. 4.4 million for our third pairing defenseman. No chance. You're going to get traded. I might keep him for the full season in the end. I don't know for sure, and just let him expire, but we'll figure that out. The other thing, keep in mind, we already picked up our seventh defenseman. He actually could fill his spot, Weidman here. Now, he also expires at the end of the season, so we might turn out trading both in the end. We'll see what happens. And just out of interest, let's see what Arvidsson's asking for. 2.5, that's reasonable for him. Because he's playing on our third line. How much was it again? Man, that's actually a really good deal for him. Can he play on our fourth line? He can't from line fit. So, I'm probably going to have to trade him. What am I going to do with my lines here? So actually, let's just check what Marchessault wants to. 6.4. And it doesn't get cheaper if we do more years or less years. Okay, so is he worth re-signing though? So he's 63 points in 82 games. Huh. That's pretty good value. 6 million. I guess it depends on his trade value. So maybe we'll re-sign Marchessault. We're definitely not re-signing Giordano. And Arvidsson's also a maybe, depending on what we do with our lines here. Draisaitl, Hughes, so that's one. Oh wait, I should filter by forwards. So we've got currently penciled in, it's going to be Draisaitl. So it's pretty much the same lines as we had last season. First line's going to have Hughes and Giroux. Buchnevich is probably going to. Well, he could go on either line. He fits well on both. We have to figure out what we're doing with Marcia. So currently, because we got rid of Scheifele, Bjorkstrand would. Oh yeah, no problem, Alexander. I hope I answered all your questions and it made sense. Thanks for talking and stuff. I like it when people come and chat. A bit off topic from this stream. It's just playing the video game, but it's fun to talk anyways. So yeah. Anyways, what I was saying here. So Scheifele got traded, and then so Bjorkstrand is currently slotted for our first line because of his line fit. So it would be Hughes, Giroux, Bjorkstrand, and then second line is Draisaitl, Buchnevich, and Marchessault at the moment. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do with him. Because I don't want to let him get to free agency. Lawton played very good, so 55 points in 81 games. His line fit works okay for the first line. So in theory, we could move him up to the first line as a winger. Also, he's a center / left wing. So that could work. Now the problem is we have that's 4 guys that can fit in the first line, but none of them really fit well for the second line. So long story short, we need to figure out a second line player to go with Buchnevich and Draisaitl. And again, it's not that I want to necessarily have these guys on the second line. It's just that the game says that that's how they fit based on the coaching strategy. So that's kind of where we're at. And so the plan is to have the Chubarov, his fit. I don't know yet. But in all likelihood, it's going to be, well, because he's an 80 overall, we're not going to play him on the first or second line. So it would be third or fourth. And if we're going to have him playing with our team, we want him to at least get better minutes. So it's third or he doesn't play. And so pretty much he has to play third. And then likewise for Bedard. So now he's 79 overall. So maybe you could play him on the fourth line, but still he needs to play. So pretty much this is our third line, Bedard, Chubarov, and then Lawton. It's either we keep Bjorkstrand on the third line and then move Lawton up to the first line, or the opposite, we put Lawton, I forget which I said just now, but anyway, so it's either Bjorkstrand or Lawton on the first line and then one of the two on the third line with Bedard and Chubarov from their line fit. So then that leaves Arvidsson as the odd man out because we're not going to play him on our first line. And we've got too many guys for our first line anyway. So he pretty much has to get traded, it looks like. But his value is good, so it's kind of tough. So we could do Bedard, Chubarov, and Arvidsson on the third line. That actually makes a lot of sense because Arvidsson, if we re-sign him at $2 million, he fits perfectly and his performance fits perfectly on the third line. So that actually kind of makes the most sense. And then that would mean we trade Bjorkstrand or Lawton and Marchessault for our second line player, basically. Or sorry, I should say we keep one of them. So we keep Bjorkstrand or Lawton, and then we trade Marchessault in one of the two. Something like that. So lots to figure out. And then also it depends on what we can get in free agency, which we haven't even looked at yet. So ideally we sign somebody because we get them for free versus trade for somebody because then we have to actually give up assets. So if we're going to trade any of these guys that I just mentioned, it's better to trade for an asset than it is to trade for a line guy if we can sign him. So that's where we're at. Oh, I forgot to see if we could re-sign. Was there any defensemen that needed to be signed? So it was just Giordano. And then nobody else? Oh, they just don't want to negotiate right now, Goligoski and Weidman. So we can kind of just leave them for later. Figure out what to do. And goalies is what I wanted to check. So Wedgwood doesn't want to negotiate yet to extend. So we'll have to figure out with him too. And also you can see because we didn't re-sign Holtby, we need a third goalie based on my strategy. So, yeah, so now we can get to signing our free agents here. We'll start with forwards. Put them in order from overall. And so again, we want a second line player and at a decent value too. So he fits on the first line. Nobody can really go to the second. So I think you can already tell I kind of skipped the top ones here because Bergeron's too expensive. He's old too. I mean, his performance is good, but we're going to want a younger guy that we can sign. Hintz, I don't like the fact that he's medium, so he's not certain yet in his potential, and his points isn't good enough anyways. Pavelski, too old. Killorn, he's asking for a lot. 68 points in 82 games is pretty good, but $7 million is too expensive. Bertuzzi, I don't think. Well, his performance is good, and his potential is exact. 54 points. And he fits on all our lines, so maybe. But Pacioretty's good value. He stood out right away. Horvat, probably too expensive, and he only fits on line 3, which makes no sense. Kessel's too expensive. Kashe? I don't know how it's pronounced. Cassie. Too expensive, not good enough. Krejci's too old, too expensive. Holla doesn't fit where we need him. Oh, Taves. 49 points. He's a first liner. So anyways, the rest of these guys don't really fit that well for what we're trying to get. Can we shake up the lines and do Pacioretty? Because I prefer Pacioretty over Bertuzzi as a pickup. So if we put Pacioretty, Hughes, and Giroux, then re-sign Marchessault, keep Lawton and trade Bjorkstrand, or keep Bjorkstrand and trade Lawton. Or keep everybody and put Bedard down to fourth line. That could work too. So another thing that's kind of good about the Scheifele trade is, so we cleared out that cap space, and now we're getting those 2 entry-level contracts, which something I've said. So on my management strategy for NHL GMs series, I never factor in the ability to have entry-level contracts, and so once you add those in, you've got lots of flexibility to make like a super deep team. So I've got the ability now. So like, let's say I add in Pacioretty's contract, that only eats up $5 million. So that leaves us with about $8 million. Sign a goalie for about $1 million. That's $7 million in cap space. And we don't need to. So $7 million in cap space. We extend Marchessault at $6 million or whatever he was asking for. So that increases it by $2 million, which leaves us with $5 million, I think, is the math. 5 or 4 million, something like that. So anyways, we don't have to get rid of anybody if we don't want to. And we could sign Pacioretty if we wanted to. And nobody else really is worth it. And we have all our defensemen already, even a depth guy. And then the rest of the guys we would need to sign is just depth players. So this is tough. What do we do? We can't put Lawton on the fourth line, even if he fits. Yeah, he doesn't even fit on the fourth line. Huh. Well, at the very least, so we know that everybody as is fits in our team based on our coaching strategy. The problem is I was thinking about shaking up the roster because we didn't do well this season. Now, we really are doing that anyways by bringing in Bedard and Chubarov. So I don't know if I really need to do more, because that might be enough as it is. Huh. So I kind of like the idea of only picking up Pacioretty if we can get him, or Bertuzzi maybe, and then just extending Marchessault. Because that's 6 million, 63 points in 82 games. He's got a really good fit for our lines. We can't see it anymore, but I think he was really good between both the first and the second line, which is really ideal for our team. Huh. He's 32. So I think we'll wait on extending him depending on what we can do with the free agents. So if we can pick up Pacioretty, we'll extend him because we kind of need him for the second line. And if we can't pick up Pacioretty, then we'll try Bertuzzi, and then if we can't get Bertuzzi, then yeah, I don't know. I think we'll still extend him in the end. But let's first try to get the free agents, and then we'll figure out the rest of the guys from there. Okay, so that's the plan. Oh, and I have to remember to sign staff too. Oh, and I should just see what's available for defense. $33 points. Orlov. Does he have a fit with us? Yes, he does. I said I'd have about $4 million in cap space. Maybe sign him and trade. Huh. 26 points. 4.7 for a third pairing defenseman. Well, we've got the cap space now because we got the entry-level contract, so we can spend it. That's interesting too. What's the math? So first we'll just start with trying to sign Pacioretty. Two years. Let's see. It's cheaper if it's 1 year. Hmm. 2 years. Okay, he's cheapest at 3 years. We'll try, because we don't actually need him, we'll just try doing exactly what he's asking for and see what happens. 5.3 is fine. What else? So 5.3 leaves us 8 million. Who's available? We're not spending that much for any of them. 2 million's a bit expensive. How do you do? Not that good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Decent. Who do you play with? Oh, those are AHL stats. And he's asking for $2 million? No chance. Those are good stats. And that's with Anaheim, and they weren't that good. So I like Stolarz so far. Stats are no good. Yeah, I didn't think those would be NHL stats, so he's no good. Not bad. And they're NHL stats. But Stolarz is better value, I think. No good. I like Halak. 907 save percentage, and he lost more games than wins. So he might be. So I think he's the best pick so far. Maybe not. Kind of a coin toss. Stolarz is younger. He probably doesn't have RFA status afterwards. So, So probably Stolarz so far. That can't be NHL stats. Yeah, I didn't think so. Didn't play enough, and I don't think we're going to want any of these guys. So, Halak, he's 38. Poise is 85. I like that. 80, but he's 29. Vision is 86. 86. Stolarz has your career stats. 913. Oh, whoops. 915. So I think basically it comes down to age. I don't think it's a good idea to sign him because he could go down in his ratings and stuff, whereas Stolarz I don't think will. But worst case, if we have to go to somebody else, we'll just try him first and then go from there. 2 years, 3 years. So 2 years at minimum. I think that's where we're going to get our best value. Then same thing, we'll just offer him exactly what he's asking for. See what happens. So that's our one goalie. So that we have 3 goalies now. One forward. We don't need any defense. But so what was it? It was 5 and a bit we did for Patch Ready. I think it was like 5.5 plus, what was it for Stolarz again? 1.5? Yeah. 5.5, 1.5 is 7. Yeah, we got lots of room to sign a better defenseman. And we have 2 guys expiring, so I think that's a good idea. And we haven't even factored in cap increases in future years, so let's have a look then. His value is horrendous. It's 33 and 81. It's 42 and 82. He doesn't fit with us though. 26, and what did I say for Severson? 33. Who is he with? Whoops. New Jersey, and I don't think they were that good last season. Orlov is with Washington. They weren't that good. Look at his plus minus though. Yeah, I like him as an option. It's 31, wants 3 years. What else do we have? Graves, no. Hall, no. Wow, 30 points. But I'd rather Orlov at less money. No good. Definitely no good. Don't want defensive defensemen. It's not good at that price. Definitely not. He's defensive. No. He doesn't fit. Defensive. 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 He's not bad. 3 million's a bit much for a depth guy. Well, we'll start with, I think we're going to at least offer Orlov. Does it get cheaper? No. So, and is anybody else? Yeah, another team's competing to sign him. So we're going to offer more than he's asking. So I said we have 8.5 million left. What's 10% more? 4.725 times 1.1 equals 519. 5.2 seems expensive. For a third pairing guy, too. That's tough. But we want it to have more depth, and he's for free, too. We can sign him. We're not going to spend the money on our fourth line. We have $8 million. If we spend the $2 million on Marchessault extension, it still leaves us an extra $1 million if we sign him for this. Ah, man. Is it? We've got. Man, this is super tough. We've got all our lines filled, so. And that's even all the way to our fourth line. If Bedard goes down to our fourth line and we get Pacioretty, we can afford it. I say let's go for it. He's for free anyways. If we need to trade people to make things work for our cap in the future, we'll be fine. Yeah, let's do it. All right. Now the problem is from going for these guys now limit their options of being able to offer contracts for other guys. So currently we're at 7 plus. I should write this down. So 5.5 plus it was 5.5 plus 1.5 for Stolars plus what did I just go for there? 5.2, I think it was. 5.2 for Orlov. So that is 12.2. We've got 13.5. We need to sign 2 more depth forwards. What did I say that was? 7, 12.2. Ooh, we might not even have space for the other guys. What do we currently have signed for? Oh yeah, and we can trade away Arvidsson because he doesn't fit really. But it kind of all depends on what happens with Pacioretty. Um, hmm. So if we're keeping, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's tough. So that means it goes Lawton. So I think what we'll have to do then for the rest is they're going to have to be two-way contracts so that we can still be cap compliant. How many years left do these guys have? 2 years, 2 years. Wow, Parayko still has 7. 2 for Dobson. 1, 2, 3. And Goligoski, we might trade right away too if we can get Orlov. So I don't think we can even attempt to go for anybody else except for league minimum salaries, basically, and two-way contracts. That's kind of all we have as options. I mean, in theory, maybe we could do other stuff, but it depends on how these signing attempts go, I guess. And sorry, this stream is taking way longer than I expected. It's difficult deciding through this stuff. And I did some chatting with Alexander that showed up and asked questions. So sorry, but anyways. Maybe I'll just extend the stream by a little bit too. That's an option. We'll figure it out. Are there any other gems that we absolutely need to consider? So far, all too expensive for their performance. We don't really want a power forward anyways. 2 million, we can't do that for fourth line anyways. So 2 million doesn't fit. We don't really want these mediums, plus they're too expensive. Stall. He's a good fit if we need him. Can he go in anywhere? If we trade away Arvidsson, then we have... No, but we can't even... Unless he fits on the fourth line, but it doesn't say so, so we can't really consider him. Anybody else? 1.9 Miles Wood, two-way forward. Fits on bottom 6. So he's a good fit. But his cap hit, we can't quite afford at the moment. But we'll keep him in consideration, depending on what happens with the rest. He fits on the bottom 6. 28 points is good. Two-way forward. So he's an option too. Bonino. I mean, technically we can consider Parisi, even though we didn't sign him before. So there's no other gems that stand out. Let's just order from potential. No. What's Lynn's starting out? Nope. No. No. Harry, I guess technically we could consider. No. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for now for forwards. Let's check two ways for forwards. If there's anybody right away we can sign. That can't be NHL numbers. I didn't think so. Does he fit for anything? No. No, no. Are those NHL numbers? They are. It's not bad. Does he have any line fits? Fourth line is a good fit. But he's a power forward, and I don't really want power forwards. So we'll say no. Those can't be NHL numbers. No. Nope. Those are decent AHL numbers. How's this? He's not a bad depth option. He's asking $950. So the cheapest these guys usually sign for is $800,000, I think. So let's just try 900, I think. He's probably going to be permanent AHL for us, but he at least fits decently. Nope. Not good enough. 66 points. It doesn't fit though. No. No. Whoa. That's 68 points? Wow. How's this fit? Hey, he might fit well too. $875. I'll offer you exactly. No. And I think that's it for now. I don't think I'm going to go down below 76 overall at this point to sign the players. So it's only 2 in the end. All right, and then defenseman, anybody of interest? Already not looking too good. No. $36, that can't be NHL. No. Oh. No. 29, 18, 36. Maybe Walensky. Yeah, I think so. 950 is too much. We'll do 900. Anybody else of interest? Nope. And then goalies. Oh, since we already had this up, let's look. 20 years old, 67 overall. I don't mind that. 20, so that gives him 3 years to catch up. I think he would. $22. Yeah, let's try to sign him. Two-way. He's a 3-year kind of guy. Let's offer. What's 10% on that? 775 times 1.1, 850. And anybody else? No, that's getting too low, so we'll wait on the rest of the guys. So I don't think this should run us into any cap trouble where they would like to have signed and then can't because we don't have cap space. So so I think that's good for now. So we did trading block. We're not going to trade players yet until we figure out what's going on with the signings. I'm going to save where we're at. All right. Is this still in the previous? Oh, it doesn't even get touched right now. Income statement, nothing. So we still have money. I'm going to put this at its max for now, just in case we're going to hire some staff. Scouts, no. Scouts salaries. We already have everybody. I think we might fire one. Advertising we don't touch. I think that can go down technically, can't it? Is everything still okay here? No, they're not. Oh, so maybe I did need to keep that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think is what it was. Yeah, it was, okay. Alright, so that's that. Upgrade and maintain, nothing. Prices, nothing. No. Okay. Now, what's next here? Okay, so we're not getting rid of... Oh, we should do it from the other screen there. So our coach stays for sure. He's like A at everything. A plus overall. I mean, we're not going to get rid of him. To not hurt our reputation and the morale and stuff of the coaches, I think the most you can most you can fire and sign in a year is basically one. So if I'm going to do anything, it's just going to be one guy. This guy's kind of mediocre. Even less useful. So both of our assistant and associate coaches are not that great. Goalie coach is fine as a goalie coach. Could he move up? Teaching is B. Are these guys all... He's A. I like to have the A's for the NHL because we want them to develop well. So he's not far off, but not quite there. He's good enough to stay where he is, though, I think. This guy is not that great at anything. Coaching influence isn't bad, though. C, D, D, C. C, D, D, A, C. D, D, A, C. So he's not good at anything. ECDCC, ECDCC. So I think we're going to get rid of Eklund probably. This is good enough for goalies anyways. So if we're going to get rid of anybody, it's going to be Eklund. And then what we actually hire would probably be an NHL something. And then move one of those guys down, depending on what's available. So let's have a look. So my priority is always teaching and coach influence. So, well, we won't order by teaching because that basically is all goalie guys. Let's see what's here. These are all head coaches. They're not going to sign as less. Who's this? An NHL associate coach that specializes in goalies. That seems uncommon. Good teaching, good coach influence, and pretty good across the board. Wow, that's a really good pickup if we can get him. $1 million is, a bit expensive, but we have it to spend. And then, yeah, the rest of these, we're getting into lower influence. So because right away this guy's a standout, we're going to try to get him first. We have to fire somebody in order for him to get hired. So worst case, we'll find somebody else. Best case, we get him. So nobody's interested at the moment. He's an associate coach. Okay. All right, so we're going to go for him. He's an associate coach, so then that means we need to move that spot open. And we said we'd get rid of Eklund. CB, C minus. So fire him for sure. I think the chemistry went up for them. I didn't notice, but okay, so we need to leave. It was associate coach, right? Yeah, associate coach. So which of these is the worst one? I think it's Ronning, isn't it? CCA, CA, CCA, CA, CCA, CA, CA, CA. Yeah. What was his influence? Yeah, it's not any better. So and then which is better of Ronning and Sedlak for the AHL? CDDAC. CDDAC. So Ronning is better. So Sedlak goes to assistant. And then Ronning goes to associate. And Hughes goes to assistant. And I hope we didn't kill morale. Yeah, everything says happy, so overall morale, neutral, happy. So the team morale is still okay, but we're kind of borderline where we were going to run into trouble. So the chemistry is not the best in the AHL, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. Cool. Okay, so that empties the spot. And scouts, we didn't need to do anything for now. Because I don't think we can assign scouts to different leagues yet. But once we can, we're going to fire one guy, I think. Or do we fire now and then? Yeah, because I think maybe this, because I saw with the other guy, the salary, the cost was 0. So maybe we fire now and then reassign later. I think that makes the most sense. So so he's the worst, but his region's good. So that's okay. Russia is A+ and A+ there, so that's fine. Q is A, and he's A for that. What's he assigned to? WHL, and he's A+ for that. AHL Atlantic, he's A+. USA Central, A, USA East, A+, OHL A+, what was he? AHL Pacific, A+, NHL Central A+, Liga A+, SHL, where is it? A+, AHL Atlantic A+. So I thought regional efficiency was a different score than familiarity. But so far it's been exactly the same. NHL Pacific A+. Huh. Hmm. Well, do we have any duplicates? So we have a duplicate for AHL Atlantic. We obviously don't need two. Is there any other duplicates? 2, 4, 2, 3. So A's for those guys. So USA Central and Q. USA Central and Q is USA Central Q. So Brule to USA Central. Yeah, because that's an improvement. Let's go with that. Now I hope we can assign the scouts. I'm pretty sure we can. I've seen it before. I just don't see it yet. Yeah, and it doesn't do it automatically. So, all right. So we'll save that. Okay, so we did trading block. We don't need to trade players yet. Budgets, I just did. We fired and hired a coach. Fired a scout. We signed the free agents we're going to do so far. We don't extend yet. And I think we're good to proceed at least one day. Let's see if there's any... Whoops, wrong thing. So what I'm going to try to monitor on a day-per-day basis is anybody that changes to two-way interest, because as soon as they do, then I'm going to offer to sign them. No. I forget about this guy. Nope. No. No. So nothing for forwards. Nothing for defense. And nothing for goalies. So I think we're good. Nice. So we got the coach we wanted. That's awesome. So now we have no more coaching things we need to do. That's super sweet. And so because he's a goalie focus, in theory, in the long run, we might actually be able to move him down to goalie coach, which I mean doesn't really make sense at his cost, but it's a possibility. Yeah, and then that way we would have like an all-star coaching staff, because to find a goalie coach at that caliber, that would be rare. So anyway, so really good pickup we have, I think, for the coach. We'll save that. Let's see if there's any other two-way guys. So no, none there, and no goalies. Nice. So that's going to be our prospect goalie. We currently have one, but now we've got one more. I won't bother saving because that one's not that critical. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, he didn't fit. No forwards. No defensemen. And no goalies. Nice, we got our third goalie. Depth forward, so he's going to be in the AHL. We got Orlov, so now we're too deep at defense, but that's okay. We might have to trade a guy now. Depth forward. Depth defenseman. Okay. So I'm going to save that. Now, what does it tell us for our cap space? So it says 6 million. We offered 5.5 for Pacioretty. So we wouldn't, in theory, have enough for Marchessault, I don't think. So if he was 5.5, that's 1.1. So no, we'd just be shy, depending on what we can negotiate this down to. So then we do need to clear cap space if we decide to re-sign Marchessault and we get Pacioretty. So first we need to figure out if we get Pacioretty. But that is good news. Then where do they have these guys? So I want to see something here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we've got that. Our cap hit is, it looks like, correct for now for our total spending on our main roster. So it was 12 forwards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 defensemen. That gives us 20. The active roster is 23. And then so we have our 3 goalies. Oh, because they have Thompson not showing up. So then if they don't consider Thompson on our main roster, so then that takes away another ballpark $1 million. And we're basically at our complete cap with our full roster now, if we get Pacioretty. Otherwise, we have savings of the cost of Pacioretty at the moment. We don't need him. He would just be a good value pickup, basically. Cool. I forget if I saved, so I'll just save again. Let's see if anybody went to two-way. I don't think Galchenyuk was there before. What was that? Oh yeah, he played poorly with us, but then played well with Milwaukee. Does he fit with? No, not really. Levo, no. Wagner, no. Ladd, no. Sini, no. Riders, new. 28. He was with us, I think, as well. No, he wasn't. So 28 and 36 is pretty good. Does he fit? Fourth line, so he does. I thought he was with us, though. I could have sworn. Huh. Well, we will. I'm going to wait. I want to see, because I don't want anything to negatively impact our ability to sign Pacioretty. And nobody's asking for him yet, so we can delay on that. Phil Pela's new. He's got 62 points in 65 games. That's really good. but he doesn't fit with us. I think he's new too, but he's not a player type we want. Angela, no. I think Novak's new. He's a no. Nielsen, no. He's maybe. No, it doesn't fit. Okay, so nobody for forwards. Well, we had the one, but we're gonna wait on that. Defense. He seems new. How did he do? Not very good. Don't think he's new. Too high for penalty minutes anyways. Honka's a no. That's it for them. Any goalies? No. So we got the one forward I have to remember that we will sign if we get Pacioretty, and we're able to sign him at least. So we're good to go. Yeah, we got Pacioretty. Okay, so let's see what that does with our. I'm going to save this now. What does it do with our cap hit? So it says we have 2 million. I wonder why it does that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it moved one of the guys down, so then that clears it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we do still have 2.2 million. Defenseman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then goalies still doesn't have him on. So then it's basically 1 million we have in cap space. 1 million, 1 million. So we don't need to trade anybody. So if we have about 1 million, we need to have somewhere around 1.8. And then if we, so then basically we're shy by 600,000. We need to trade away for cap hit. It's too bad we can't do line stuff yet, can we? It's not going to tell us anything. That sucks. Well, in any case, we can still sign the rest of the guys as long as they're two-way contracts, and it shouldn't impact anything. So it's next. Okay, yeah. So in any case, next season we need to save 2 million in order to be able to sign Marchessault. So we could leave it as is, but we're probably still going to move somebody because we have too many forwards now. And we might wait till the regular season to do that, so we can see about line fits and stuff. I think that makes the most sense. Okay, so now let's have a look at who... Oh, and I can adjust before I forget to do that. So we signed the coaches, so we can move this back down. Save. That stays. That's fine still. So no trades. Budgets are done. Coaching is done. Man, I really like that pickup for Andrews. I don't think he's the right fit for associate coach, but he's good to have in our franchise, and he's got 4 years, so that's good news. Okay. So coaching's all done. Scouts are all done for now. And the rest we can't do for now. I'm just going to save that again because we adjusted our coaching spending. We're going to check, see if there's any more two ways. And that's one thing, if you didn't know this, and you think I'm crazy for coming in and checking this every day. So players initially in the game, they asked to be a one-way contract. So we saw that with some guys that we had on our team. I don't know if we have any examples here. I don't think so at the moment. But anyways, they start off asking to be a one-way contract and well over $1 million. And then when nobody signs them, then they change their mind to be a two-way contract, and then their price goes down, obviously, because it has to fit under two-way contracts. So, yeah, so that's why I checked. So Galchenyuk, for example, was a one-way contract. Now he's a two-way. And he's an option. Of course, we're not going to go for him, but now I have to remember who it was. It was Ryder. So we're going to offer him a two-way. There's no other teams interested, so we're going to do 900 at the moment. Do I want to do... 2 years? Decreases his asking amount, so we'll do that instead. Did he... Oh yeah, he doesn't fit, that's why. But he would have been good to have. Yeah, I checked him. So nobody else yet. Nobody there. Nobody there. So I think what I'll do is every couple days now. Nobody. Nice. We got another depth guy. Might as well save. Now, one thing, I just hope I don't forget anything important that I have to go back in any of this. Pretty sure I haven't missed anything. Let's see again. Yeah, see, now you can see an example. Oh, a number of examples of guys that are now two-way contracts. So Yanmark wasn't there before. 20 points in 82 games. That's pretty good. But he doesn't fit with us. Kiviranta doesn't fit. Byron. That is not NHL numbers. I didn't think so. Does he fit with us? He does. So he's a good depth guy. Yeah, we'll give you what you're asking for. He was, yeah. Cahoon's another example. New guy. Yurko, I think, as well. Archibald is. It's 35 and 42. Those are pretty good numbers. Does he fit? He does not. Richie's new. Those can't be NHL numbers, are they? No, I was going to say. All right. No. And no. So we only got one new guy. You know what I think I'm going to do is usually this is a 2 hour stream. I think I'm just going to extend it a full hour, and we'll go till uh, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is game time for the NHL, and I think that's a good time. And then I might be able to get through most of this off season, or at least the free agency stuff. Okay, so now we can check again. Now we could, I mean, in theory, be looking for some one-way contracts that are super cheap, but I'm not going to bother. I'd rather a guy that goes up and down. Because, yeah, one-way contracts are more complicated to keep and manage. And yeah, I'm still going with the rule where I only do people with exact, what is it? Yeah, it's high and exact for their potential. No. There's some exceptions, but none of these guys are good enough to be an exception. So no more forwards. Carlson's the new defenseman on the list. Oh, there's a few of them. Hanley, I have a feeling, is a good fit. Where was he? Maybe not. Oh, those are NHL numbers. So, and they were one of the worst teams. So he's a maybe. He's a two-way. Poise isn't the best, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's offer him $900 is the best we're gonna give you. You're gonna answer tomorrow night? That's quick. That can't be NHL numbers. No, they're not good enough. For us, I forget, was I considering? Yeah, I was considering 75. So then Camphor's new. Those ones aren't NHL numbers for sure. Cuckoo, I think is how it's pronounced. Oops. 22 and 63. That's not bad. Yeah, why not? Kasky is new. Oh, I forgot to check if he had line fit. Good. Whoops. Good. Huh. I thought I made a mistake there. I mean, not that it was of any critical importance, but I wouldn't have signed them. Lindstrom is new. Nope. More. Not quite good enough. Brinson. He was with us, I think, wasn't he? And then we traded him? Yeah. did well elsewhere, but he didn't work with us. Hickey, I think, was with us too. That's it for them. Goalies. Lagas, I think is how it's pronounced. He's new. I think he's going to be. They got to be NHL numbers then. Yeah. He's good in the AHL. Do we sign him or do we wait? Wow, there's a lot of goalies that are not getting signed. So I think we'll wait. It was tempting though. Okay. Nice. Oops. So where are we at for... So we have 3 defensemen so far for depth and 3 forwards. So we've got 1 line basically for AHL, and we have 19 roster spots basically to fill still. So we got to wait for these one-way guys to not get signed and then be available for us to sign. Whoever does. Yeah, see, there's a bunch more that just dropped down. And we haven't even put them in order yet. Panos Stroza. Are those NHL numbers? 20 points. Wow, that's not bad. Does he fit? He does. That is a guaranteed signing. And 950 is acceptable, but yeah, I want to rather get them than not get them, so Jesper, oh, I forgot to see. Okay, good. Jesper Fast is a sniper. Does not fit. Erickson is new, but he's a no. Neil. I think he was with us, wasn't he? And he's a 3rd line anyway, so it doesn't fit. Nobody else. Dotchin is new. Not good enough. We already saw him. Stone, Key. Did we? Yeah, we did. Nobody else? Any goalies yet? Not yet. Oh, Poulin's new. Schneider's new. See, he was one of our guys that wanted to be a one-way contract for God knows what reason, but Poulin's no good either. All right. Glaterra is new, isn't he? $29, not good enough. Scarbosa is new. That is 40 and 58. That's not bad. Not a good fit though. The only guys we're considering now are basically, if they fit the fourth line, it's got no stats. If they fit the fourth line, then good. If not, then we're not going to bother. I think he was with us. Did well elsewhere. Did we even give him a shot? Because he was one of those guys. No, we didn't. And then we traded. So he might be worth it. Yeah. $47, not good enough. $36, not good. $22. Wow, $53. Oh, but he didn't even play last season. Does he fit with us? He does not anyways. I forgot if I even checked his... Yeah. Fashion 38. No. Willman is new. No. Rotting. No. Dalpy. Guy that's doing really well right now. Or I mean, good enough to play in the NHL. Those are good stats. He's a first liner, so that's a no. No. Good stats when he played last. No. See a whole bunch more guys now. 45, no. He was with us. No. 50 points. That's not bad. Does he fit? He does not. No. 40, no. No. There's starting to be so many players that now to remember them all is going to be a bit difficult, but we'll try. 47 in 68 games. Nope. Suster. No. Wow, those are NHL numbers. That's not bad. Did he fit? Nope. No. 31 and 59. Yeah, that's as good as we're going to offer. $32 and $67. That poise is really bad. 70. That's it. No new goalies. We gave you exactly what you offered. Or I mean, what you requested. Okay, we'll go somewhere else then. So far, I've been able to remember all these names. I think Schaller's a new one, isn't he? No, he's not. Yeah, and if you're wondering why I'm not just signing some guys, some of these guys are going to be left over anyways, so I'm not concerned about not getting enough guys. And then on top of it, we've already filled out our most important spots. Like we have, well, one line of AHL players, and so that's all we really technically need. The rest is just gravy. So, yeah, still we'll go through the full process because we don't want to miss anybody. Cool, cool. So I'm still a ways away, but I might as well check where we're at in terms of contracts. So we have 4 forwards now, 4 defensemen, and 2 goalies, and Thompson comes up. Man, he's cheaper than I remembered. It's a good deal. 750,000 for him. All right. All those guys waiting on one-way contracts, I don't know why they haven't switched over yet. If you haven't been signed yet, you're not going to get signed. Or you better be really like dropping your asking price. We're getting there. Still nobody new yet. Let's do it in 3-day stretches now. Because I think it takes 3 days for signing to go through anyways. Oh, there's some new guys. Simmons. It's a power forward, which we don't really want. Yeah, we won't. Bozak is new, but we had him before and we don't want him again, I don't think. He did pretty well. But still not good enough. We won't bother. Forget if Archibald. No, he's not new. Oh, I didn't realize it was 42 games. That's actually not bad. Oh, but his fit didn't work. Never mind. And I just looked at the time. We'll end it after going through players this time here. I don't recognize his name. Oh, I think I've seen him. No forwards. Wow, few defensemen. He's defensive, so no. Two-way. No points in 17 games, 14 minutes, and he's +2, so that's not bad. He fits well. I don't mind that. Fine. 7 points -10, that's not very good. But I think his team was bad. $7.42. That one's tough. Yeah, let's go for it. But not 950. 900's the most. Fat Nin doesn't fit. Oh, we got Dansk. He's new. Actually, a bunch of these guys are new. Wow. In the AHL, 15, 27, and 10. So he had a losing record and was 9-1-9. That's quite good. His poise is horrendous, though. He was a nice thought. 71's no good. And these guys we can kind of wait on. We're not in a rush for that. All right. All right, so we'll leave it there. What's the date? So we're at the end of July. We still have about a month and a half until preseason starts. So this was a bit slower than I was expecting, which is why I extended this stream a bit, but Um, that's okay. I, it's a bit different than what I've done previously. Like I usually would sim through quicker, but I know that I missed out on a lot of good depth players previously, so this is why I'm doing it a bit slower this time. And so as we saw, some of our depth contracts are pretty reasonable players. Like to have a 78 right there. We're waiting on Beaulieu's answer. Beaulieu? Beaulieu? Anyways, we're waiting on his answer. And like to have a 78 overall in the AHL is a really good situation to be in. And I know previously, I would have guys that the highest would be 75 and the lowest would be like 73 for defensemen in the AHL. And now already we've moved up like 3 overall, well, on the high end and on the low end. So that's good. Also for our trade value, it might be better later on in the season. So it's good to maybe be a bit patient, like I've been so far with our signings. Forwards, on the other hand, are looking kind of right on as they were previously, but maybe some guys are waiting to be willing to be two-way contracts. So still remains to be seen. Goalies, we haven't done anything yet. I forget what our space is allowed for goalies. I think it is 6, so we might only be able to take one goalie. I hope it's more than that. But anyways, worst case, well, I mean, this guy didn't even play last season. We might trade him because he hasn't developed really much anyways. So, but I mean, he hasn't played, so it's kind of whatever. There's nothing you can do about that. And look, he's like 72 overall. He's 26, where this guy's 67 overall. He's 20, so lots of time to develop. But anyways, so looking quite good in the off season. Maybe was going to do, thought to do more, but I think it's better this way. Uh, this might all change in terms of doing roster moves towards the start of the season because, like I said, we're too deep for our forwards in the line. Fit is not very good for some players, so we might move some guys. And yeah, so there's still, more work to be done before we're ready for the regular season. But yeah, inching our way, I guess maybe is a good way to put it, to getting to the next season. So, but yeah, it should be done. I would be extremely surprised if we weren't done by the end of next stream. So yeah, we'll leave it there. If you like the stream, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, turn on notifications. Channel homepage has upcoming streams that I can schedule. And the ones that I can't schedule ahead of time, like franchise mode like we're on right now, take a look at the About section of my channel. That'll tell you the next streams. On that note, I was going to announce it today for next week. So next week's going to be a weird schedule because the Stanley Cup final is still going to be going on. And I have other scheduling things too. So next week is going to be at our new permanent time of 9 p.m. Eastern. The days are going to be actually pretty much not at all what's normal. So usual days is going to be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And like I said, again, 9 p.m. Eastern. But for next week, and it's only going to be next week because the playoffs are going to be done after next week. So next week is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern for franchise mode streams for next week. But like I said, I'll put that in the about section of my channel if you need to go back and take a look. And then, yeah, any comments, leave them in the comments. Suggestions, same thing. And we will see you on Monday with the next part of this series. Hopefully finishing off, like I said, the off season. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys then.